Okay, the manager of the Miami Marlins, Clayton McCullough, second Fan Fest for you. I remember last year, and I was listening to our conversation this morning. I asked you your overall feeling going into the 2025 season. You said optimism. What is it here going into 2026?
Yeah, Stephen, great to be back here again with you as we get ready for the season. And the word that jumped out for me and I thought about a lot this offseason was urgency. And I think that we're going to, this time of year always brings a level of optimism. But I think with where we feel like the strides we made last year and that this year is going to be more difficult. And from day one of spring training, having a real sense of urgency to try to win every day and not look too far ahead into the calendar is going to be important. But that we know that while we're very proud of a lot of the work that was done last year, we have a lot left. And so we need to be very urgent with how we approach each day in our continued improvement.
Urgency after a 79-win season. So take me in the office with Peter Bendix and company. What were the primary talking points after the season in, okay, here's what we need to get better at, and here's our values going into this year?
I think while we were disappointed that we ended up ultimately coming up short with a chance to play in the postseason, I think let's take a step back and look at the outset of even the offseason leading into the year, what we were hoping organizationally to try to put in place. I think we felt much better when the season ended than where we were, and a lot of confidence and a lot of the processes we put in place, the level of our infrastructure had improved. And from a team aspect, we felt that guys took a lot of strides and how important the off season was going to be with our group.
Yep.
And because there's no guarantee that guys will repeat performances or do better. So it was as much, we need to really, now that everyone knows each other and there's the familiarity to really dive in on staying on top of our guys and push them to have as great an off season as they could have.
And it's been a busy off season. Ryan Weathers, Edward Cabrera. We'll start with those two, the departures. Who's next? What's next for the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, Edward had a fantastic season last year, and unfortunately, Ryan just didn't get a chance to, some fluky things to be on the mound, but certainly, the ability he has. So we felt and still feel very good about the quality and the depth of the arms we have in our organization. And certainly, Sandy and Yuri and what Jansen Junk was able to do last year out of the rotation and getting Max Meyer and Braxton Garrett back from injuries is going to be a big boost for us.
You haven't seen Brax pitch.
I saw Brax throw. I know I haven't seen him. I've not seen Brax pitch live, and that's exciting. And saw him throw a couple times leading up to this, and he's in a good spot. So excited for him. And we got Ryan Gusto last year at the trade deadline, and Adam Mazer got some opportunity with us last year. And of course, some of the Robbie Snelling, Thomas White type that were in the minor leagues had great years, and Blaylock, who we acquired from the Rockies, we like a lot. So we feel great. You can never have enough pitching, Stephen. But I think we feel like the talent level that we have and our ability from our pitching side to get guys better makes us feel confident. We'll have guys that maybe we're not necessarily talking about as loudly this time of year that'll come out and really provide high-quality innings for us.
So the arms, it's always a storyline going into spring. What are some other storylines that fans should be watching out for with the Marlins this season?
I think it's definitely going to be – we've tried to make the positional flexibility a really important part of our players and for them to appreciate not only the value it has for them as a player, but also, for myself as the manager, having so many different ways to get guys either in the lineup or maneuver during games. So having someone like Chris Morrell, who talked a lot about first base, but Chris has the ability to play a lot of positions, and Connor Norby and his athleticism and ability to play some different spots. So I think always the bigger questions going into camp is where is all the playing time going to go?
How are you going to disperse it?
And I think that part of that with the players is messaging into them that the more places you can go play, the more opportunities in turn you have, and so many things change throughout the course of the season. So I think you'll see guys playing a lot of different spots in spring training. And I think that's as much to try to figure out what guys can and can't do, but also try to put ourselves each day in a position to run out there what I think are the best 9 to start a game.
All right, another storyline is the WBC. And we've got some individuals going, which is great for them. How is it going to change the way maybe you manage and who gets playing time? Maybe who could we see more of? Or how does that, especially as such a young team, you want your guys together, right? But you also want these guys to go play for their country, and you know how much it means to them.
Yeah, selfishly, you'd love to have them in camp the entire time, right? But also appreciating how big of an event this is globally for not only our sport and what that means for the individuals that are going to go play. So very excited for all the ones that are going to get a chance to go represent their countries and play in the WBC. And while they'll be gone in camp, all that does is, again, provide opportunity for some others to get some playing time. I think, someone like Max Acosta, who we saw a little bit last year, who we really like, exactly. With Otto being gone, Jared Cerna being gone, so there'll be middle infield, more reps there and opportunity for him. Joe Mack, we have 3 catchers going to the WBC, so it'll give Joe a real nice opportunity to get some regular run behind the plate and continue to get familiarized with our staff and pitching staff and everyone. So while we won't have our full capacity of guys, again, I think trying to look at the positives of that is it will provide some opportunity for some players that maybe would have been a little bit more limited in the opportunity they would have gotten.
Want to go back to the arms real quick because the offseason always offers the opportunity for some of these guys in the bullpen to be starters. We saw this a couple of years ago. You weren't here, but A.J. Puck didn't work out. But are there anyone in that bullpen that you feel like can be converted or maybe we'll see in lengthier situations?
I think the big thing with the bullpen is we're going to ask as many guys as we can to be open and have the ability to pitch multiple innings. I think that's just a real critical piece of, guys' value to our team.
Sure.
As we saw last year with what Phillips could do.
Yep.
And we believe Phillips is someone who could get stretched out if needed. He has the weapons, and he certainly performed that way last year. Lake Bacher throwing multiple innings last year. So Cade Gibson did it. So I think for the most part, trying to have a nice balance within our pen of, some guys that are maybe more short burst, the Pete Fairbanks, the Fauchés, Benders, and then, trying to have as many options as we can that can take down multiple innings and go 1+ is a real benefit.
How much are we going to miss Ronnie? That stunk.
It does. I feel for Ronnie.
Yeah.
Here he is getting a real run last year in the major leagues, and he earned it. And he, almost, I don't know if he was close to setting the strikeout record for a reliever in franchise history. I mean, he dominated and performed at such a high level. So the news was unfortunate to hear, and you feel for Ronnie because, here he is getting some traction. You're getting, establish yourself at the major league level. But again, these things happen, and I think we feel so much better now with the quality of players that we have and our ability to get them better. And we weren't talking about Ronnie in such a way last year in spring training. So I'm very confident that we'll have, some others that, become Ronnie this year and really kind of not come out of nowhere, but surprise some people with their ability to get major league hitters out.
The manager of the Miami Marlins, MaClayton McCullough, kind enough to give us some time here. So I also want to get into this because I think part of your job is to create some sort of belief every single year with your team, right? Every year we always say, can you pick up where you left off from 25 to 26? And I don't know that answer. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But how do you recreate belief in this team that, for the most part, is pretty much the same from last year?
Yeah, that's a great question, Stephen, because every year is different. Every team we're going to have, it's a new clubhouse this year.
Right.
And I think we'll still stick to me the core things that I hope every year that I'm here that will be important to us is that, it's a group that's going to be incredibly accountable to each other. And they're going to be relentless. We're going to play till, that day's game's over, and we'll reshuffle the deck and come out tomorrow and compete in the same manner and never make excuses for why things are going or they're not. And, those things culturally kind of being what we're about every year, and that we know now, I think our whole group has got a greater appreciation of what it takes to win a major league game and the level of detail that's required. And so I think this year it's going to be as much about that. Look, time is always slipping away, right? So each day is our chance as a team. We have to get better. So developing at the major league level as an individual and as a team, for me, that's not going to change, in year 2 from year 1 or year 5. So I hope that's just, we're going to get better every day, and we're going to compete and be relentless each night we play.
So we saw a lot of great things from Agustin Ramirez offensively, Jacob Marcy. The list goes on and on, but we didn't see some guys, and I did want you to hit on maybe some players you're really excited for their 2026. First one that comes to mind for me, and I think a lot of fans, is Connor Norby. Who are some of the guys that you're looking forward to seeing and maybe breaking out here in 26?
Norby's definitely one. This guy didn't luck into the type of success and performance he had as a minor league player. And last year was so choppy with a lot of the injuries and the timing of those. So there's still a very athletic, talented player in there. And believe that Norby is going to have a much different year than he had in 25. I think for me, Yuri Perez, and I know Yuri is he's a phenomenally talented, and I think he's just scratching the surface. I know he is with what he's going to be. So just having him be able to take starts last year and get back, and now have an off season, have a full spring training, a full year of major league starts.
Put on some weight
huge.
too.
Oh, he looks great. He's very physical. I mean, you can tell. Yuri is very hungry. To take some steps forward, and he's only 22 years old. So Graham Pauley is another one that I think this guy is a really good baseball player, and he showed spurts offensively with the defensive capabilities that he has a chance to be very good. And Max Meyer is another one for me. I really, Max was off to such a great start, and unfortunately just missed the time to be able to adjust back to how things were going. So excited to see Max come in healthy and be able to get shot out of a cannon like he did last year.
All right, back to you. First year to this year, what do you feel like you've obtained going into this year that you're a lot more comfortable with?
I think probably just like the rhythm of what the day looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch someone do it.
Yep.
It's different than doing it yourself. And so there'll be less unknowns this year with just what the day looks like and what those expectations are. And I tried to honestly look at myself during the season and after, like, okay, where I need to take steps as a leader of this team.
And where were they? What were they?
And I think really it's like it's cliche and boring is like communication, but I think like I can do a much better job. Like I can get out in front of things, better. I can certainly, handle conversations better. I can. And we're all hoping to be as honest and transparent as we can, but I know like I can do a better job. So I think some of just going through it in the first year and a lot of things being thrown at you and recognizing that I didn't handle all of them as well as I wish I would. Can't do anything about those.
Sure.
But hopefully use those experiences to help me be better this year.
You know what conversation you're going to have? You're going to have the conversation about the challenge system. So this is really interesting to me. I think it's awesome. We see baseball continuing to move with the times. I guess maybe it's not the best way to put it that way, but the challenge system, we've seen it in basketball, we've seen it in football for such a long time. And now you're going to get 2 challenges. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to decide it. It's going to be a player's, I guess, of their discretion. How do you plan on going about that? Is there an inning, past the 5th inning you can? How do you kind of plan on going about it?
Great question. And we've started to we had some of those conversations. I mean, even last year.
Do you like it?
You could kind of see it in spring training when we
ABS,
experimented with last year, like how quickly it happened. And
you get the clap,
it was kind of,
clap.
it's more of a novelty than kind of like laughing. It won't probably be as funny this year during real games when it swings something, but understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do. And I think for the players, look, they're going to have some say now in a little portion of something they never did before. And we'll continue to talk about strategically what's the best way, but I'm a fan for it coming in because I give Major League Baseball a lot of credit for experimenting with a lot of different things. And for the most part, they've worked out. And so this will be another one. And I don't know how much we'll let our pitchers challenge calls.
Who are more stubborn, the hitters or the pitchers?
Good question. I'd say the hitters. The hitters, I think, feel like they know the strike zone better, some of them. So I don't know if we'll completely make it on like a walk rate or your chase rate determines if you can do it or not.
That'd be great.
But we'll give guys some opportunity in spring training to test it out and provide them some feedback of what the zone was and what you think. And important that our catchers really, know the zone.
Sure.
Because it's really just the pitcher, catcher, and hitter that have a real say in, the ability to challenge.
How big was the 3-1 start last year to the season?
I mean, and that was also like the manner at which it happened, right? I mean, it was spring training was such a whirlwind. I think just the whole new staff, and for us to get walk-off wins and to get off to a good start, win a series at home to start the year. And it did. It felt great. Give you a little momentum coming out of camp. And so I think some of it we rode in the rest of the season. I think how we came back in games and how we finished games was something that we started off from day one and we're able to continue on. So, this year it's still going to be try to win series. Like that's how you stack together a really good season, win series, and you're going to have some lulls during the year, but can we put a stop to those a little sooner? Can we stop the bleeding, instead of losing 8 out of 10?
Right.
And I mean, we had a really tough end of April, like May. It was
16 rough. Under, and you guys fought your way. I know not in April, but 16 under to 500.
I mean, we did. We played a lot better, and as what put my finger on, we pitched better. We threw more strikes.
Yep.
Defensively, we got better, and I mean, there's certainly some luck involved, but that's the course of a season. Like we got came up with a lot of big hits, but we were in more games late, and you give yourself a chance to come up with a big hit or stress some pitchers during some late innings. So I think the quality and brand of baseball we played from certainly like the first part of June through the end of the year was just a much cleaner, more high-quality game that now we know what that looks like, and that's what we're going to be trying to repeat as often as we can.
Clayton McCullough, last two with you, and I'll let you run. I know you got a ton to do. The identity last year, the fight and fish, the gritty, is that going to be the same identity, or do you feel like maybe we have a little bit more pop, a little bit more flavor? What do we got? What's the identity? Or do we got to figure it out?
There's a chance we have some more. I mean, what's Stowers? We think Gus is going to continue to get better and hit for some more power. Owen Casey is someone that we believe has a chance to provide some power. I think like Liam is going to – we saw what Otto did. So, yeah, we could have more power, but I still think we'll be pretty much – we need to pitch really well, and we need to play high-quality defense. And we have athletic guys who can run the bases, so that's going to be something we'll continue to stress and prioritize to be as aggressive and create as much chaos on the opponent as we can. And then – hopefully, guys, as they get more at-bats and experience under their belt, like some of the underlying ability they have continues to play out.
Very good. We've got we had a couple of players come on the podcast, and at the end of the interview, I always would ask them, are you guys throwing around the P word? Are you throwing around the playoff word? I'll ask you, what is the relationship this year with the playoffs, the Marlins, and 2026?
We believe that's what we're playing this for. I mean, it's certainly not talking about development doesn't mean you're sacrificing winning. So, I mean, I think we're going to go out and try to win as many games as we can. And that our goal coming in is to be a postseason team. And what I will hazard the group with in spring is to not look too far ahead.
Sure.
It's a long ways away. A lot has to happen between day one of spring training until, game 162. So let's do what we know we need to do to get ourselves in a position to be able to, hopefully have a shot at that and get back in September again, playing meaningful games. And that if you look too far ahead in April or May, you just miss out on real opportunities to enjoy, one, the ride of the season.
Yep.
And then two, that you can't do anything about June and April. Like we need to, be where our feet are and keep our focus there.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Stephen, thank you.
2 weeks. You're going to play the team that you end their season with the New York Mets in Port St. Lucie.
Oh, that's
How
right.
about that?
Quick, it's getting here soon.
We will break. We've got a huge announcement. 2 future Marlins Hall of Famers. We will reveal them next. Marlins Hot Stove Show. Stick with us.